we have Mr. Austine Agbonsuremi. He's the Executive Director, Progressive Impact Organization for Community Development, PRIMOG. And our conversation today is bordering on the Biennial National Convention of the Nigerian Guild of Editors. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Good morning, and a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, thank you. So now, earlier on, I was asking about, the theme of this convention and, what it's all about, So building a secure and cohesive Nigeria, the role of dialogue, inclusion, and the media.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt that everybody is aware that the media do have a very critical role to play in building cohesion, in building understanding, in even in the running of governance. The Constitution of Nigeria, Section 22, aptly gave the media a place to hold those in government accountable to the people. And the government needs the media and the people need the media. As much as we have a lot of diversified structure in Nigeria, including our ethnics, our religious, the geography, and the kind of culture that we have, over 250 different ethnic groups coming together under the colonial amalgamation of 1914, and we try to build a nation. The media's place in building this cohesion is very critical. It's a continuous one. It's not one of kind of. And what the editors are discussing is how to further this, how to strengthen this, and how to make it possible for the media to play its critical role in this area.
All right. So what would you say are the major challenges that are currently facing, editors and media houses generally in Nigeria? A lot of challenges. I don't know where to begin from, but the fact is that the media is full of challenges. The first of it all is if you don't have an independent media, if you don't have the media that is independent, it cannot function effectively. And independence of the media is not just that the government or those are in authority don't want the government to behave or to act in certain ways. Independence of the media can be undermined by the economy. If you don't have the money to run your operations, your independence cannot be guaranteed. If all that you do, you need government patronage. And if you don't have those government patronage, you cannot survive. Your independence is in danger because, as they say, he who pays the piper dictates the tune. If you are going to run well and hold the government accountable, it means that the government that you depend on to patronize you, to give you money to survive, you have to keep a relationship. And if you are keeping the relationship, I don't know how you are going to manage to tell the government that is giving you money through patronage and adverts, commercials, and all those things. If they are the only source, I don't know how you are going to hold them accountable. So that is actually one of the biggest problems in Nigeria. It is not the laws, whatever the cybercrime law, whatever laws that are, it is not that they are not challenges, but this is at the root of the challenge, the independence as defined by the ability of the media houses to be financially independent and to be able to hold the government accountable without fears of losing revenue. That's a major challenge. The other challenge we have could be seen in the area of development, training, equipment, facilities, running operations, paying salaries, which also comes back to the issue of revenue generation. Because if you are not able to keep your staff, you are not able to pay salaries, then the staff will use your time to go look for money somewhere. The time they would have devoted to doing your work, they will have to go and set up a farm, do consultancy, do one or two things to be able to survive, to do the job that they are doing for you. So that is also a problem. If you are able to generate revenue, you are able to hold yourself up to generate money to run your operations. Buy equipment. This is a TV studio. You know how much is a camera, and it's not that you are buying a camera that will last forever. There are always new things coming up. You have to renew, you have to replace, you have to repair. If you don't have the money to continuously operate to keep yourself at the top, it means that you are going to be having obsolete equipment. You are not going to be running very well. So you need revenue to be able to do them. So in order to keep those revenues, those equipment working, you need staff to operate them. And if you are not paying them well, you are not giving them allowances, you are not training them, you are not giving them a place to feel belonged, they will look elsewhere. That's also a major challenge. So if you look at the totality of all the areas that we have the media challenges, they revolve around operations, around revenue generation. We have some laws that should not, should be amended to give room to the media people to operate the way they want to operate. Look at the cyber crime law, that whatever you put out there, although it's more prevalent in the social media area, but even the media also feel the impact of it. Yes. And there's another challenge, if you permit me. There's corruption in Nigeria. There's no doubt about that. Nobody is denying whether there's corruption or there's no corruption. The issue is not whether there's corruption. We all agree there's corruption. And if the media is going to fight corruption, because a major tool, either through the whistleblower regime, we have people give us information and we use it, or we dig it out through our investigative journalism, are we free to use them the way we want to use them? Are we not bullied? Are we not, are slap cases not filed against us? Slap cases are cases that are filed by even people who know they are guilty, but they just file it so that they can waste your time, waste your money in defending them. And a lot of cases come up. And media houses, I know of media houses that have over 20, 25 cases, frivolous cases filed against them by people who are corrupt, but they don't want the media to go. Once you just publish it, they file a case against you. Where do we guys have the money to defend all these cases? These guys are the higher senior advocates of Nigeria. So you have to hire a senior advocate of Nigeria. Where do you have the money to do that? This is also part of the challenge that the media face. All right, so looking at these challenges that you've listed now, what are the possible solutions to these challenges for, to help the media space in Nigeria? Well, I think the solution will also be evolving. They are embedded in the problems themselves. If you are talking of revenue, are there models we can borrow abroad from? How do those big media houses abroad, the CNN of this world, the New York Times, the major media houses abroad, how are they generating money to survive? And there's also competition with the social media. Yeah. Many people don't even have a TV. They don't even have TV set at home. So it is a question of how do you make sure that the revenue that we are supposed to generate, they are flowing. How do we, as media houses, get revenue? Those are some of the solutions. That's why I said the solutions are embedded in the problems, because they are very, very straightforward. Is our economy buoyant enough? All the adverts put together in Nigeria, I mean all the advert money, the budget for advert in Nigeria. When we talk about the budget for advert in Nigeria, we are looking at the MTNs of this world. We are looking at the NNPC. We are looking at the Federal Inland Revenue. We are looking at CBN. We are looking at the big major companies in Nigeria. All their budget, the budget they put down, we are going to use this one for advert purpose this year. If you give it to Signature TV, it's not enough for you to operate. Just Signature TV. And how many radio stations do we have in Enugu? How many radio stations do we have in Lagos, in Abuja? How many TV stations do we have? All of them competing. The newspapers, all of them competing for this same small money that's not enough for your station to operate. So what are the models? Are people ready to pay subscription to you before they watch you? They pay to watch. These are some of this. For the newspapers, are people going to be patronizing by paying subscription to get copies of newspapers? Because they just go to their phone and they get the thing free of charge. So nobody buys the copies outside anymore. So through circulation, you are not likely to get. Only through advert you get some commercials. So are there models? This is a challenge to our institutions, the universities, the polytechnics, and other schools that are running mass communication, for them not to just teach how to practice. They should also come up with investigations. Let's research be focused on how do we generate money for the survival of the media. That's why I say it's a continuous thing. It's not something you can put in a pin and just pick it up. It is something you have to look at. How do we generate money?
how are other people doing it across the world? How did they fare? What are the changes that we need there? Is there any local thing we can do to get those funds? So that the media, because the aim is to get the media to be independent, so that they don't depend on anybody before they can say anything. They don't get cut off through revenue by the government because you wrote a report that they didn't like, and then you are dead. So the solution is something that we're going to evolve. We have to begin to think about it, and we also look at grants and sponsorship for people who love what you are doing. Are they willing to give you grants to do the well, these are all sources of revenue.
And you've also mentioned issues of threats and harassment. You mentioned, the Cybercrime Act and a lot of media stations, being in frivolous cases in the court because of things they have put out. So how can, editors and journalists and media personnel generally be protected from all these unnecessary threats and harassment?
The best way to secure yourself against slap suits is to be factual, accurate, and you know what you are doing. Don't publish if you are not sure. Of course, you know that the rule is that if you are not sure, if you are in doubt, leave out. If you are sure, you have investigated your report and they say this person has been involved in corruption, you have all the documents and everything, you should not be afraid of any suit because you know it's just frivolous. File, go ahead with your story and go to court and meet them, even without a lawyer. If you don't have money to hire the big lawyer, you can have a lawyer that of the average that can go there to say, look, these are facts. By the time you file your defense, they will withdraw the suit. That's what actually happens. Immediately you file your defense and you say, we stand by our story, these are facts that we have seen, they are incontrovertible. Immediately they see it, they know that you are going to line up witnesses against them, they will run away. So it is for you not to publish stories you are not sure about. It's for you to be sure that you are publishing facts, and that if you are publishing factual stories about whatever the thing that's happening, if it is corruption, if it is whatever thing that you are publishing, they are facts, you don't have any fear. They will take you to court, you will get somebody to defend you, but you know that it is not going to go beyond the preliminary levels.
All right. And now we've also had issues of misinformation and disinformation. So how would you say the Nigerian Guild of Editors are addressing these rising concerns?
Misinformation, disinformation are very technical terms. They are very technical terms that even the very, very enlightened person can be deceived, can fall into it. You see, some of them are deliberate, some of them are inadvertent, and you have the profession coming with its rules. When we are talking of journalism practice, we are not talking of social media practice. Social media don't have rules, because we talk about the 5 W's of H of news. You have to include fairness. You have to include that your story must be balanced. You have to include that it has to be factual. We don't do that with social media. We just take the picture, and then we post it, and everybody will just say, before you know, the entire place is running around with that story. Before you get to know the truth that it is not true, it's misinformation, everybody is aware. But we have a core duty, because we are the traditional media, the radio, the TV, the newspapers, the magazines. We are the traditional media that trade on facts. We do not just publish because we just want to publish. That's why when you see certain things in the social media, they will say, which paper has any paper published it? Did you see it on Signature TV? Did you see it on NTA? Did you see it on AIT? Is it on channels? They will be asking until has this news platform published it? Is a Daily Trust, have they published it? Until those traditional newspapers, because the reason people rely on these traditional platforms is because they know we do our due diligence. We do not just rush to town to publish. We will see it. The social media is useful to us because they give us the tip. They give us the tip, something has happened. So we send a reporter to go ahead, go and investigate, check all the facts, talk to all the parties concerned. By the time you come up with the story, the whole facts will be known. So disinformation and misinformation is not a challenge for the serious-minded newspaper house, because we do our checks. You fall into the angle or into the trap of disinformation and misinformation when you do not follow the strict
rules of journalism practice.
Okay. And just moving back again to the theme of this convention, aside from cohesion and inclusion of the media, are there other key topics that will be touched in this convention, maybe such as the inclusion of AI when it comes to journalism, or other forms of media ethics, or things like that?
When journalists gather together every 2 years, the biennial conference is every 2 years. They pick a topic and they zero into it, call guests, people around the look, because there are so many things to talk about.
Yes.
It's like a pot. You cannot you cannot exhaust all of it in a single biennial conference. But this year own is strictly what you have told the viewer. These are the areas that we're looking at. Yes, there are so other challenges. How do we use AI in the inclusion? How do we include the social media? How do we make sure that the traditional setting in Nigeria, the traditional rulers, the politicians, the divergent religion that we have, how do we use the media to build a kind of glue around all of them so that the media can be useful in promoting the cohesion that we need for good governance to operate, for the people to participate, and for there to be a general belongingness of everybody in the scheme of things in Nigeria.
Okay, and of what importance would you say that this convention is when it comes to Nigeria's media and democratic development?
Of course, it falls into the central role of the media. The importance falls into the central role of the media, like I said in one of my first responses, that even the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria expects the media to play a role. And that expectation is without any protection. That is actually a different topic altogether. We are given a role, but you are not protected. We are told hold the government accountable to the people. Or we are not told you are protected from being harassed by people you are trying to serve, by government you are trying to say they can come up with any law. So yes, we have had a lot of goodies since 1999. We have had a lot of opening space. We have the Freedom of Information Act that can enable you to access no matter how bad it is, at least people are using it to access government information. You can file a Freedom of Information request in any government, in any department, and they will respond to it according to the rules that is set by that act, if you follow the act strictly. But again, it goes to the central role of the media to hold the government accountable, to be sure that it doesn't cause, it aids participation. It aids the people to know what governance is all about and assists them to know how to participate, and ensures that the government also performs its role of making it the duty to protect life and property. Good governance, providing good governance and making sure that the citizens are all involved in whatever operations, anything they are doing. If they are doing it, if the citizens are benefiting from it, if we're actually mobilizing enough, those are the challenges, those are the issues that everybody will be talking about.
Okay, and from this meeting now, are there any planned resolutions or policy proposals that will be taken up higher, maybe submitted to federal or state government?
We have government people attending the program.
Okay.
So it's not just journalists attending the program. We have government, very senior government officials. The governor of Enugu State is going to be there. We have a lot of people coming in. So they will be part of the entire discussion, and it's not a secret meeting; it's an open meeting.
Okay. Now let's talk about the funding for the guild. How is the guild?
We pay subscription. Journalists, editors. I mean, because it is a membership are for editors, those who have spent time and they have the duty of mobilizing younger ones. They have the duty of running paper. We pay a lot of money every year individually for subscription. We pay subscription to belong to the guild, and the guild is a big platform, over 400 editors in Nigeria. So if you imagine that over 400 people paying 30,000 every year as subscription, it's enough to hold a conference, to build the work. Apart from that, we also know there are institutions, groups, and organizations that will also say, you want to do this conference, we probably will, like any other organization that is running independent of government, like the NGOs, like my own personal group, the Primog. We source funds from donations, source funds from those who are helping us to run our projects, and to whom we are also accountable how we run about it.
Okay, all right. And what accountability measures are in place to ensure that, you know, the guild still reflects, you know, the voices and the interests of its members?
Of course, we have a constitution. Maybe before the end of the president of the guild or the secretary, all those ones who are at the top, who can actually speak on the behalf of the guild, they should find their way to this your beautiful studio to expatiate on them. Of course, what I can also say is that we have rules, we have a constitution, we have guides. We are not operating in space, just like any other organization.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Austine Agbonsuremi, for your time. I truly enjoyed the conversation.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure being here, and I did enjoy the conversation with you.
All right, thank you. And that is it for our morning program this morning. Thank you so much for staying with us. I am Uchenna Chimdi Oluoha. The morning show continues right after now.
See Nature TV. News in your pocket.